In 1957, Ghana became the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence from colonial rule. Kwame Nkrumah stood before his people and declared that the black man was capable of managing his own affairs. 69 years later, we are still fighting for that same right, except now the battlefield is digital and the colonizer is a cloud contract. In his 1965 book, Nkrumah warned that a state could have nominal independence, fly its own flag, elect its own president, while its economic and political life remained controlled from outside. He called this Neo-Colonialism. He could not have known how precisely he was describing 2026. Today, the most valuable resource is not gold or oil, it is data. Data is the raw material used to build artificial intelligence systems. And sovereignty in the age of AI means the ability to train, deploy, and operate AI systems without dependence on foreign infrastructure or foreign permission. 3 things make this possible: computing infrastructure, data sovereignty, and technical capacity. Most African nations currently have none of the 3. Here is how the trap works. African users go online. They shop, browse, communicate, and move through digital systems every single day. That activity generates data. That data is harvested by platforms: Facebook, Google, OpenAI. Those platforms train AI on that data. Then they sell services built on that data back to African users and African governments in foreign currency. The extraction is complete, and it compounds every year. This is the AE rent trap. We are tenants in our own digital economy. But the problem is not just economic. Scholar Abiba Birhane calls it algorithmic colonization, the domination of human behavior as raw material by foreign monopolies. The AI tools Africans use every day were not built for African contexts. Consider this. An e-health system designed in Europe is likely to recommend mammograms as the primary tool for detecting breast cancer early. In sub-Saharan Africa, clinical breast examinations have been proven to be far more effective. The wrong model, applied to the wrong context, produces the wrong outcomes. And people pay the price with their health. It goes further than healthcare. In Kenya and Nigeria, Cambridge Analytica used AI systems to interfere in democratic elections. The data came from Africa. The manipulation was deployed against Africa. And when data originating on this continent is integrated into military systems and surveillance architecture in powerful states, African societies are participating in geopolitical decisions over which they have absolutely no control. This is not a future risk. It is already happening. In March 2024, an underwater rockslide off the coast of the Ivory Coast damaged submarine cables that 13 West African countries depended on. In Ghana alone, banking systems failed. Health records went offline. E-commerce stopped. Transportation systems stalled. Microsoft also experienced some downtime. They recovered in hours. We did not. Why? Because the infrastructure that Ghana's digital economy runs on is not Ghana's. Even the Ghana card, the national ID system, is backed largely by Danish and American investors. That is what nominal independence looks like in the digital age. But there are models that work. Rwanda has been the most consistent African nation in building digital infrastructure sovereignty. It has 3 data centers. It mandates that all government institutions host their data in the National Data Center. Rwanda is not waiting for permission from Silicon Valley. Its approach is simple. Build the infrastructure first. AI sovereignty will follow. South Africa and Nigeria have the technical capacity and the market size to do the same. What they lack is political will. There is also a regional solution. In 2017, Estonia became the first country in the world to establish a data embassy, an arrangement where government data is hosted in a foreign country but under full diplomatic legal protection. The African Union, working through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, could create a continental version of this. African nations pooling their data infrastructure, shared servers, shared legal protection, and critically, shared bargaining power against the Western monopolies that currently dominate the market. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Legislation alone will not achieve digital sovereignty. The real test is procurement. When a government ministry signs a cloud contract, the questions that must be asked are: where does the data reside? Under which legal jurisdiction? Who has ultimate technical control? Can the system continue to function if diplomatic relations deteriorate or if sanctions are imposed? Digital sovereignty is not declared in Parliament. It is negotiated, line by line, in infrastructure contracts. We must move beyond nominal independence. To be sovereign in the age of artificial intelligence is to own the data of our people and the infrastructure of our state. By building local computing capacity, embracing regional data embassies, and standing behind the collective shield of the African Union, Africa's digital evolution does not have to be a new form of annexation. It can be the ultimate fulfillment of the Pan-African dream. 1957 gave us the flag. 2026 must give us the server. Read the full essay at the DataVerse blog and subscribe for weekly analysis on data, AI, and digital systems in Africa.